Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel. In this video, I want to talk about something that every parent experiences, and that is frustration. And I know you've been there, right? Your child is trying to work on something or do something, they can't do it, or either you're trying to get them to ask for help and they don't want any help, but they still can't figure out how to do whatever it is that they need to do because they're in that I want to be independent phase. And then next thing you know, they're on the floor, they're in the verge of tears, and you may also be on the verge of tears. But here's the thing, frustration is normal. And to be quite honest, is actually a part of the learning experience for your child. So the goal should not be to stop frustration because, hey, frustration happens, right? No matter if you are a child or obviously we all know it happens to us as adults, right? Things happen, we get frustrated. It's just a part of life. So you don't necessarily want to have the goal be to stop frustration for your child, but rather yet the goal should be to teach them how to work through that frustration. You want to be able to help your child learn how to work through this situation or learn how to work through their frustration so they can learn to build resilience instead of spiraling out into a meltdown. So in this video today, I'm going to be teaching you about 5 simple strategies that you can start using right away in order to help coach your child through frustration. So tip number 1 is to stay calm and be the anchor. So when your child loses it, it is so natural for you to either lose it yourself, get frustrated yourself, or sometimes you may even completely shut down. But it's important to remember that kids actually borrow our emotions. So if you can stay calm, then you give your child something to hold on to. So instead of you reacting in response to their reaction, you can do and say something as simple as, I see you're upset, I'm right here. And that lets your child know that, hey, I'm safe. And it also sets the tone for how they will respond. Tip number 2 is to name the feeling for them. Now, a lot of younger kids, they don't really have the vocabulary or that expressive language component to necessarily be able to label their emotions and label how they're feeling. You should not expect your toddler to be able to say something like,
well, Mom, I'm super frustrated because my block tower fell over and I really wanted to build a block tower and that's why I'm feeling so upset.
No, it's not quite how it works, because to be honest, do you as the adult always verbalize your emotions in that sense? Probably not. So it's important to remember that toddlers are not really going to necessarily say those big eloquent sentences to let you know how they're feeling, but oh boy, they're going to show you exactly how they're feeling. So they are going to have these big explosive emotions sometimes. And so what you should do is help them to label and put a name on those emotions that they're feeling. So for example, you can say, you're frustrated, or you're mad because the block tower fell over and that's really hard. So when you name that emotion and you help them to label how they're feeling, you're not only helping them to calm in the matter, but you're also building up their own emotional vocabulary. Tip number 3 is to offer choices and not commands. When a child feels stuck, they often feel powerless. And when a child feels powerless, that's when you get a lot of that pushback. So giving them a choice often gives them a sense of control and puts a little bit of control back into their hands. So instead of saying, stop crying, or let's just do this, you can give them a choice by saying, do you need to take a break or do you want to play with your cars? It prevents the power struggle and it helps them to feel like they have options. Tip number 4 is to break things down into smaller steps. Now, sometimes you will find that the child is not having a meltdown or becoming frustrated because of just how they're feeling. Sometimes it can be linked to the actual activity or the task that you're having the child engage in themselves. So for example, if the child is feeling so frustrated because they can't complete this puzzle, instead of saying, hey, complete this full puzzle, you can say, hey, we're going to start with one piece at a time. It's so important that you simplify activities or simplify tasks if they are becoming too overwhelming for your child. Remember, small wins build confidence, and confidence helps to decrease some of that frustration. Tip number 5 is to model calming strategies. Now, often parents will actually tell their child what to do to calm down, right? You may tell your child, take a deep breath. You may tell your child, count to 10. You may tell your child, squeeze this teddy bear, right? And nothing's wrong with those strategies at all. But what's even more effective and what's even more powerful is if you actually show them how to calm instead of just telling them what to do. So when your child starts to become frustrated, why don't you start taking deep breaths, right? Or if your child becomes frustrated, you can start to count to 10, or you can start to squeeze a stress ball or a teddy bear. You can start to give yourself a big hug, right? Whatever calming strategy that you use, instead of just telling them what to do, you just zip the lip and start showing them what to do. And let me throw in a bonus tip for you. Another idea that you can do if you want to coach your child through that frustration is to completely change the environment that they're in. So for example, let's say your child is in the living room space and they get really, really frustrated about something, right? They get so mad that they knock their blocks over because they just couldn't get it right. Well, instead of just staying right there in that same spot, you can say, okay, let's take a break. Go to a completely different area of the house, right? You can go downstairs. You can maybe go to the basement, go to their bedroom, or even take a step outside. Sometimes just that quick shift in environment can really help to reset your child's emotions and help them become more regulated. So remember, frustration is normal. The key is to coach your child through it, not necessarily stopping them from feeling the way that they're feeling. Remember to stay calm, name the feeling, offer choices, break it down in smaller steps, model calming strategies, and change the environment if necessary. So let me know, which of these tips do you feel like you would be able to try first? Drop it in the comments below and let me know what you plan on trying out with your child the next time you see them becoming frustrated. If you found this video helpful, make sure you subscribe to this channel so that I can continue to provide you with some free education to help you and your child grow in their early stages of development. And if you want to learn 3 powerful tips that can really help kind of change your outlook on things as a parent and as a therapist, make sure you watch this next video. Until next time, bye.